Did you know that how you form your letters and words can indicate over 5,000 different personality traits? Handwriting analysis, or graphology, is the science of using the characteristics, traits, and strokes within someone's handwriting in order to create a personality profile. You may be wondering how your handwriting can possibly show your personality, but it can easily be explained because your brain subconsciously guides your hand while you write. Everything on paper is a result of a two-way circuit between your brain and the muscles in your hand, causing your handwriting to become a polygraph, revealing your true self. One of the first things that graphologists look for when analyzing handwriting is the slant. The slant indicates how the writer copes with their emotions. For example, handwriting that slants to the right, like the handwriting in the first sample, indicates someone who is controlled by their emotions. They're caring, warm, and outgoing. Their heart rules their mind. A vertical slant writer, like the handwriting in the second sample, is someone who tries to keep their emotions in check. Their mind rules their heart. And a person whose handwriting slants to the left is someone who tries to conceal their emotions and is usually considered cold and indifferent. Another thing that handwriting analysts look for when they're analyzing someone's handwriting is how much pressure is used. The pressure can be determined by how dark the writing is, or turning the paper over and seeing how much pressure was used. Writers with a heavy pressure, like the one in the first sample, are very successful people and they have good energy levels and determination. Writers who write with an average pressure, like the handwriting in the second sample, usually belongs to someone who's moderately successful and usually has enough energy to make it through the day, so just like the average person. And then handwriting that has light pressure, like the handwriting in the third sample, belongs to someone who is kind of lazy and they try to avoid energy-draining situations. Another thing that graphologists look for when they're analyzing someone's handwriting is the size. Large handwriting, like the first sample, symbolizes someone who has a big personality and a big ego. Many celebrities have large handwriting. Large handwriting usually suggests someone who's outgoing and likes the limelight. Small handwriting, like the one in the second sample, usually belongs to someone who's focused and can concentrate easily. People with small handwriting are usually shy and don't like public speaking. And if someone has average-sized handwriting, they're usually a mix of those two personality profiles, and they're well-adjusted and adaptable. Handwriting analysts also look for the loops in handwriting because the loops symbolize someone's drive. Someone who has large lower loops, like the handwriting in the first sample, belongs to someone who has extreme physical drive and is very sensual. They're probably an athlete or something that requires a lot of energy. Handwriting, like the one in the second sample that has short lower loops, reveals a person who's kind of lazy and they're disinterested in physical activity. And then handwriting, like the one on the bottom that doesn't have any loops, belongs to someone with a high tolerance for pain and simple taste who does what it takes to get the job done. Graphologists also look for certain key letters when analyzing handwriting. So, for example, when someone writes a lowercase t, they look to see how high the t-bars are. So, like in the first sample right here, you can see that the writer did their t-bars really high, and that symbolizes someone who has a lot of confidence. And then when someone does their t-bars low, like the one in the second sample, it symbolizes someone who is really self-conscious and has lower self-esteem. Graphologists also look for how high your dot is on your lowercase I. If you do a high I dot like this one or this one, it means that you have an active imagination. If your eyes are closely dotted, it means that you're organized and detail-oriented. If you dot your eyes to the left, like this one, it might mean that you're a procrastinator, and if you dot your eyes with a circle, you have playful and childlike qualities. So graphology can also be used to expose like the negative things within a person. So for example, one warning flag that is easily spotted within handwriting is something called the felon's claw. Felon's claw is when you write the loop on your letter, but it's like a backward hooking motion. It appears in both script and print writing. A felon's claw usually symbolizes someone who is guilty, a backstabber, or feels like they have something to hide. A fun fact, 80% of people in prison have felon's claw in their script. But just because someone has Bell's Cloud doesn't mean that they're necessarily a felon. It just means that you might need to be a little bit more cautious around them. So the study of graphology is very fascinating. Recently, graphology is being used by many business organizations to help with recruitment, interviewing, and selection of future employees. Graphology has also been used clinically by European counselors and psychotherapists to evaluate the mental states of patients. Thank you.